Have you ever caught your reflection in a store window and, for just a second, not quite recognized the woman looking back? Not because she looked bad, because she looked tired, older than she actually felt. You couldn't explain it, because your face hasn't changed and your spirit certainly hasn't. Here's the truth. It's usually not you. It's what you're wearing. And one dress on this list is doing more damage to how you read than any wrinkle ever could. Here's what makes this dangerous. After 60, the dress you choose does more work than almost anything else hanging in your closet. A dress isn't just fabric. It frames your entire body in a single sweep. And it shapes not only how other people see you, but how you see yourself the second you catch your reflection. The wrong dress can flatten your energy before you've said a single word in a room. And there's one dress on this list, the very last one, that's so powerful it made a 63-year-old woman go quietly viral last year just for walking into a room in it. I won't tell you which one yet, but everything before it is building toward it on purpose, and once you see why, you won't unsee it. We'll get there. Here's something most women never stop to consider. A dress isn't just fabric. It frames your entire body in a single sweep, and it signals energy before you've even said a word. Welcome back to Timeless Tresses, where we prove week after week that looking radiant after 60 was never about chasing youth. It's about a few smart secrets nobody bothered to explain to us. There's actually a name for why this works. Fashion psychologists call it embodied cognition. The idea that what you wear doesn't just change how others perceive you, it changes how you carry yourself through a room. If that's the kind of detail you want in your corner, the subscribe button is right there. Let's count down from 7 to 1. Dress 7. The foundation this whole list is built on. The wrap dress. I understand why this one gets overlooked. It feels almost too simple to be doing real work, so it rarely gets credit for what it's actually accomplishing. It's been in and out of trend cycles for decades, which makes it easy to dismiss as basic rather than recognize as reliable. Here's the mechanism. It isn't really about the dress itself. It's about the diagonal line the wrap creates across your torso. That diagonal is what the eye follows instead of settling anywhere you might feel self-conscious, whether that's the midsection or the upper arms. It's an optical illusion you're quietly wearing, one the fashion industry has understood for decades without ever bothering to explain it to the rest of us. And it works on nearly every body type after 60, precisely because our shape naturally softens and redistributes in ways nobody ever warned us about. The fix: you don't need a designer label for this to work. A simple jersey or cotton wrap from an affordable shop creates the exact same visual trick as one costing 5 times more. What actually matters is where the wrap sits. Right at your natural waistline, never above it, never below it, because that's exactly where the diagonal does its best work. A wrap sitting even an inch too high or too low loses most of the slimming effect, even though the dress looks nearly identical on the hanger. Do it today. Pair it with a simple sandal or a low-block heel, and the whole outfit reads as intentional rather than expensive. Solid, dependable. But this is only the floor. Number 6 takes that same idea and makes it work even harder for you. Dress 6. The monochrome column. If the wrap works through a diagonal, this one works through something even simpler, and once you understand it, even more powerful. I remember trying this on a client who'd spent years reaching for busy prints because she thought a single color would look boring on her. The moment she put on a solid caramel dress and stood in front of the mirror, she actually laughed out loud at the difference. Here's the mechanism. Wearing a single solid color from shoulder to hem creates what stylists call the vertical column effect. Instead of your outfit cutting the body into visible horizontal sections, which can genuinely shorten how tall and lean you appear, one continuous color pulls the eye in a smooth, unbroken line from top to bottom. It's the same principle that makes a tall building look taller when the architecture avoids horizontal breaks. The fix, and the part almost nobody mentions. Not every color works the same way for every woman. If your skin leans warm, you tan easily, or the veins on your wrist read slightly greenish. Caramel, olive, and rust will make your complexion genuinely glow. If you lean cooler, jewel tones like emerald, sapphire, or deep plum do the same job. Choose the color that makes your skin glow instead of compete with it, and you read taller, leaner, and unmistakably more awake. This is the clothing equivalent of good posture. It changes everything without changing a single thing about your actual body. Do it today. Hold 2 or 3 monochrome options up against your wrist in natural light before you buy. The one that makes your skin look brightest, not just the one you like best on the hanger, is your column color. Quick pause. Out of these first 2, which one's already hiding in your closet? Tell me in the comments. Now let's keep climbing, because this is about to pick up real momentum. Dress 5. The midi with movement. The wrap worked through line. The column worked through color. This one works through something almost nobody checks before buying: fabric behavior. Here's the mechanism. A stiff, heavy fabric sits on the body in a way that reads as static, even when the cut and color are otherwise perfect. But a midi dress in a soft, flowing fabric, something with a gentle swing to it, creates motion. And motion reads as energy. Energy reads as youth. It's one of those unspoken rules of style nobody puts into words, yet the eye registers it instantly the moment someone crosses a room. Think about the difference between watching someone walk in a fabric that sways with each step versus one that holds rigid the whole time. One reads as alive, the other reads as stuck in place, regardless of how flattering the cut is underneath. The fix. Look for a soft viscose, a rayon blend, or a lightweight linen. The fabrics that move rather than hold their shape rigidly. Some of the most beautifully flowing midis sit on the exact same budget racks as their stiffer neighbors, which means the price tag is never a reliable clue here. Do it today. Before you buy, actually touch the fabric and give it a gentle shake. If it moves like water in your hands, it will move beautifully on you too. And if it stays stiff and unmoving in your hands, it will stay stiff and unmoving on your body as well. But dress 4 is where this list stops being about the dress and starts being about where people look first. Your face. Dress 4, the V-neck. Necklines get almost no credit. And that's exactly why this one outranks everything below it. Here's the mechanism. A V-neck draws the eye straight upward toward your face and collarbone, the two areas that naturally hold the most expressive, youthful energy on your entire body. Instead of the eye scanning the whole outfit evenly top to bottom, it gets pulled directly up to your expression. And expression, more than almost anything else, is what reads as age or youth to someone standing in front of you. Think about it honestly. We rarely remember the exact outfit someone wore, but we almost always remember how animated and alive their face looked while wearing it. A deep round neckline can work against you here by flattening that upward pull. A high closed neckline can box the face in instead of opening it up. The fix. A moderate V, not a plunge, just enough to redirect the eye without needing to think about it twice. Think about it honestly. We rarely remember the exact outfit someone wore, but we almost always remember how animated and alive their face looked while wearing it, which is exactly what this neckline is quietly engineering for you. Do it today. Next time you're getting dressed, notice which necklines in your closet pull the eye up versus which ones let it settle on the outfit instead. That's the sorting test for what stays in rotation and what gets donated. We're halfway up this list, and it only gets more interesting from here. Dress 3, the textured knit. This one feels like a secret because it's so comfortable. People forget it's doing strategic visual work the entire time they're wearing it, which is exactly why it earns its spot above the V-neck. Here's the mechanism. Ribbing, a soft cable pattern, or a gentle waffle knit adds visual depth without adding a single ounce of complexity to the outfit. Flat, smooth fabric can look a little lifeless under harsh indoor lighting, fluorescent office lights, dim restaurant lighting, but texture catches and scatters light differently in every fold and ridge, creating natural dimension across the surface. That dimension is what reads as rich and considered, instead of simply thrown on in a rush. It's the fabric equivalent of good lighting on a photograph. It does the flattering work without you having to pose for it. The fix. Texture-heavy knits are often some of the most budget-friendly pieces you'll find, because texture doesn't need a big brand name to look expensive. The ridges and cables do the visual work a higher price tag would otherwise be paying for. Do it today. Pair a textured knit with a simple gold or silver pendant, and you've elevated the entire look in about 10 seconds flat. Only 2 left now, and this is where the countdown stops being gentle and starts building toward the one I promised you. Dress 2, the belted shift. This one earns its place because of something the 5 dresses below it don't offer. Total control. Here's the mechanism. A shift dress on its own can read as shapeless. Not a bad thing on a hard day, but it doesn't do much visual work for you either, since it simply exists on the body without shaping the silhouette in any direction. Add 1 belt at the natural waist, and you've created definition exactly where there was none, transforming a straight, uninterrupted line into a soft hourglass suggestion, whatever your shape has done over the years. And let's be honest, all of ours have shifted in one way or another. It's proof that you don't need an entirely new dress for every mood or occasion. The fix. You don't need a new dress for every mood or occasion. You need one smart accessory. A woven raffia belt for daytime, a slim leather belt for errands, or a simple fabric sash tied at the side can each completely shift the personality of the exact same dress. And that flexibility is exactly why this one sits at number 2. Do it today. Try 3 different belts on one shift dress you already own and see how differently each one reads. That's the flexibility that earns this dress its ranking, and it costs you nothing but 10 minutes in front of a mirror. And number 1, the one I promised you at the very start? It's here, and it's the dress that quietly borrows every trick on this list at once. Dress 1, the big one, the structured shirt dress. This is the one that quietly went viral, and once I explain why, you'll understand exactly why nothing else could have taken this spot. Here's why it outranks everything else. A structured shirt dress, buttoned down the front, often with a collar, borrows visual cues straight from menswear tailoring, the same sharp lines we instinctively associate with confidence and quiet authority. But when that structure lands on a woman's frame, especially cinched slightly at the waist, it creates a contrast between strength and softness happening in the same outfit at the same time, and that contrast is what registers, almost always subconsciously, as energy rather than age. It doesn't just borrow one trick from this list, it borrows all of them at once. The button placket creates the same elongating vertical line as the monochrome column. The collar pulls the eye upward exactly like the V-neck. A soft fabric gives it the same graceful movement as the midi. A belt at the waist gives it the same adjustable shape as the shift. This dress is every technique on this list, working together in a single silhouette, which is exactly why nothing below it could have taken the top spot. This has nothing to do with mimicking someone decades younger. It's about reading as self-assured, and self-assured reads as timeless rather than aged, in a way that never really goes out of style. That's very likely the real reason behind that viral moment last year. She wasn't trying to look young. She looked commanding, and commanding doesn't have an expiration date. The fix: don't reach for this one thinking boardroom, think quiet authority in a Saturday brunch. The power of this dress travels well outside a work context, which is exactly why it earns the top spot on a list that has nothing to do with offices. Do it today. Roll the sleeves up slightly toward the forearm. It softens the structure just enough to feel approachable instead of stiff, while keeping every bit of that quiet authority fully intact. A small adjustment that takes seconds but changes the entire impression the outfit gives off. Three's the real secret behind this entire list, my friends. The right dress was never a costume, and it was never about pretending to be 40 again. It's a tool. Psychologists call this self-perception theory, the idea that when you dress in a way that feels vibrant and intentional, your own behavior shifts to match it, and so does how people respond to you. Put on the wrong dress and your shoulders drop without you noticing. Put on the right one and your spine straightens, your stride lengthens, and something in your face just lifts. That's not vanity. That's measurable psychology. And it's exactly why the dress hanging quietly in your closet has more influence over your next 10 years of confidence than you've probably ever given it credit for. So looking younger through a dress was never really about age at all. It was always about radiating the confidence, joy, and presence that were already inside you, just waiting for the right outfit and the right order of small decisions to let them through. That's really what this channel is about at its core. Not telling you to buy more, but teaching you to see what you already own differently, and to trust that looking radiant past 60 was never about age in the first place. We climbed this list on purpose. The wrap for its diagonal illusion, the column sharpening that same idea with color, the midi adding movement, the V-neck redirecting the eye to your face, the textured knit adding depth without effort, the belted shift giving you total control, and finally the structured shirt dress pulling every one of those tricks together at once. None of this requires a shopping spree or a credit card you're afraid to look at afterward. Most of you already own at least one version of these dresses, simply waiting to be seen differently through a slightly smarter lens. You've earned the right to walk into a room and feel exactly as radiant on the outside as you already know you are on the inside. That was always the actual goal here, not chasing 40 again, just finally seeing what was already hanging in your closet with a slightly smarter eye. If this gave you even one new way to look at your own closet, tell me in the comments which number surprised you most. I read every single one. And if you're not subscribed yet, this is your sign. Next week's